Hello everyone, here by myself because this is a little techie video and Deb doesn't do techie bits. Two reasons I'm uploading this. First is I'm having a few issues uploading the vids and certain subscribers are not getting notified even though they've subscribed and hit the bell when the vids go up. And the second, I've had a viewer who's asked how we operate the locks. He can't quite grasp the concept of it. Well, this viewer just happens to be a lifelong friend of mine. I shan't name him, but when he sees the vid he'll know this was especially for him. It's not a tutorial on how to do locks. This is how we do the lock. We think we're doing it correctly. If anybody out there notices anything we're doing blatantly wrong, please tell us. And obviously if you're using this to learn how to do locks, also look at lots of other videos and read as many books on the subject as you can. So anyway, over to the video. Right, so today we're on the Kennet Avon canal, Wootton River's bottom lock, and I'm going to try and explain how a lock works. We've got one of our viewers, Mr. Paul Manning, also a lifelong friend, who just can't seem to grasp how a lock works. So the lock is behind me, so we're going to walk down there and see if I can explain it in layman's terms. Right, now the lock is at the moment empty, as you can see. So we have the canal level here. Now this lock is a drop of 8 feet. You can see here, come through the lock, and there's the lower section of the canal. Yeah, so on the lock you've two sets of gates. You have your upper gates, which are obviously at the higher point, and you have your lower gates, which are obviously at the lower end. Now on the lock gates you have two different types of paddles. On these lower gates we have what we call gate paddles. So there's the winding mechanism, and that basically just opens a gate in the bottom of the gate. It opens a paddle in the bottom of the gate to let the water out. Now on these upper lock gates we have what is called ground paddles. So just come around this side. There's the paddle winding mechanism, both sides, and as you wind that lifts a paddle which is under the ground there, and it takes the water under a culvert, and the water will come out of a hole round about there. Right, so for me to be able to bring my boat, which is up there, along the canal and down to the lower level, what I need to do obviously is fill that empty lock. And we're going to do that by opening these ground paddles, which in turn will fill the lock. We can then open the lock gates and motor the boat in. Right, but before I fill the lock, I'm just going to pop over that bridge there to the lower section of the canal, check that there isn't a boat coming along, because if there is, he will have priority. Then he will come straight into an empty lock. He'll fill the lock to come up to my section of the canal, and then I will drive my boat straight into a full lock. Otherwise, with wasting water, I would fill the lock and empty it to get down, and then he would have to come in, fill the lock, so you'd use 2 lockfuls of water. And nobody coming. So all I've got to do is make sure that the gate paddles, and there's one open there on this lower gate, make sure that those are shut, and then I can go up to the other end and empty the 2 ground paddles to fill the lock. down there you should be able to see where the water's bubbling up. That's coming from that gate paddle that I've just opened. Now on these paddles you have like a safety locking mechanism, so if you was to let go of it, that locks in there and stops the paddle slamming down, which could damage the paddle. Now regardless in how strong you think you are, until the water level that side and that side equalises, you will not, no matter how much you push on the beams, open those gates, because the pressure of the water, obviously this side is far greater. Right, that's one of the lock gates open. And as you can see, the water level in the canal is now the same level as the water in the lock. So I'll just go around the other side, open the other lock gate. Not forgetting to close the ground paddles this side, because they've done their job now. Then we have nice little walkways across the lock gates. So just a quick recap of what we've done so far. We wanted to go down in a lock, so we've gone checked ahead that no other boat was ready to come up through the lock. We've gone up to the lock, we've checked that the lower gates were shut and the paddles were shut. We've came up to the upper gates, we've opened the ground paddles, filled the locks, opened the lock gates and reclosed the ground paddles. So we're now going to take the boat, there it's behind me, and motor on in.
Mark coming into Wootton Rivers Lock.
So the boat is in the lock. It's just a matter of closing these gates. So the lock gates are closed. Now what we do need to ensure is that the back end of the boat is forward of those sill markers, and I'll show you why once the lock is empty. Now as Deb undoes the paddles, what will happen, the force of the water will bring the boat forward, so we've rested the front fender on the front of the gate, and that will hold the boat there and stop the boat rocking about. So the boat is now dropped down, and if I go back here, I'll show you why earlier I said why it was important to stay clear of that sill marker. There's the sill marker, and there's the dreaded sill. Now many a boat have had their back end caught on there. It gets caught, the boat then goes down, takes on water at the front and then totally capsizes, and we don't want that. Deb's now opening the gates for us and we can cruise out. Well, you know who you are, so I hope that made sense. Again, very important, if you liked the vid, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, and I've said this before, I know a lot of you guys watch these vids on a smart TV, so it's not like you're on a tablet or a laptop where you can just click the subscribe. But if you get time at some point, just go on with your tablet or your phone, hit the subscribe button, hit the like buttons, and that will just give us an idea that we're actually doing these right. So until next time, bye.